Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Scheer, after the combination of Hurricane Irene and Tropical Storm Lee hit northeastern Pennsylvania, my district experienced the worst flooding in its history. And they're still dealing with it as we speak. I just came back with Chairman John Mica, who came to see the damages. Speaker John Boehner was there as well. And many of the businesses in our area are making decisions whether or not they even want to go back in business again. I traveled throughout the district and talked to many of the business owners, and I told them what the United States will do through the Small Business Administration is, if you can get credit elsewhere, we'll provide you with a 6% loan. I could tell you the reception was not very warm when I told them this is the help we have to offer, especially when a business is just trying to decide whether or not they're even going to stay in business again. The United States gave Pakistan for flood disaster relief $215 million in the last 2 years. The interest rate that we charged the flood disaster victims in Pakistan was 0, with no payback. Do you believe a 6% loan is meeting the needs of disaster victims here in the United States?
I don't have a basis to answer your question. I have to rule out not knowing what our assistance to Pakistan was. Yeah, I'll make the...
Well, how about just the 6% loan?
Well, just a 6% loan. I'll make the observation that SBA is part of our recovery framework. So there are other federal programs involved, as I alluded to in work in the Gulf Coast. So I can't comment on it directly. I'd say it's a question for the Congress in terms of, we don't make value judgments when we evaluate programs as far as how much assistance should be provided and at what cost. So the question really is,
how is the interest rate determined?
The interest rate, and Mr. Rivera can speak to the interest rate much better than I can. The credit elsewhere requirement, I think, is intended to make it a lower cost program than it would be, and the 6% interest rate makes it a lower cost program than if a lower interest rate were offered. So there's certainly trade-offs there, and but except for observing that, we don't have audit work that would let me respond directly. The one thing that I will say that does relate to our audit work is that, and it gets to these pain points that many times the victims of disasters feel, is that SBA is saying, apply to us and apply to us. And it's good that SBA is out there and reaching out in these disaster recovery centers and the like. But it's important to know what the pain points are and to make sure that SBA is being very transparent about what is being offered and not offered. So that gets to our audit work.
See, I'm very concerned, especially with unemployment over 9%, and we're trying to create jobs and keep jobs here in America. And when a disaster strikes, America, and I've said this here in this committee before, and I'm going to say it again, when disaster strikes, America is the first country to come to the aid of other countries around the world, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of that fact. But when you see disaster strike the people in your neighborhood and your friends and relatives, and you know that we're sometimes doing more for people we don't even know, sometimes countries that don't even like us, than we are for Americans, I just believe that we should take care of Americans first. I'm hoping to change the way America deals with disasters. I'm introducing a bill that would give a 1% loan for 30 years. It would cover the administrative costs, but let's get Americans back up on their feet again, and hopefully they'll stay in business and create those jobs that we're trying to do here every day.
I think you raise a very good point, and I hope you just understand that we're a fact-based agency, and we can only comment, and I can only comment based on the facts from the audit work we have conducted.
I'm not upset with you, Mr.
Okay.
Scheer. I'm just frustrated, after spending so much time with these people and seeing how hard they've worked, and knowing that we can do more for Americans. And I hope I'll find many colleagues here that will agree with me. Thank you.
Thank you.